Hi friends, welcome to our channel. So in this video, we are going to discuss about some important JUnit annotations. Already in our previous video, we have discussed what is JUnit, how to write a test cases by using JUnit, as well as we have discussed what is the usage of at the rate test annotation. So in case if you haven't watched that video, so the link is available in the description. So by using that link, you can watch it. So now in this video, I'm not going to explain how to write the test cases, how to run the test cases. Yes, already we have discussed in our previous video. So in this video, we are going to concentrate on the JUnit annotations. So already we have discussed about at the rate test annotation. Same way, we have four more annotation at the rate before, at the rate after, at the rate before class, and at the rate after class. So these five are basic or important annotations in JUnit. So let me remove this testing code. Just to understand these annotations, I'm just making a system.out.println. Let me say this one is test addition. Same way, here I will mention as test subtraction. And in both method, I will be adding at the rate test annotation. So already we know that if I mention a test case method with at the rate test annotation, then the method test case will get executed. So for example, I have enclosed this method with at the rate test annotation. So which means it is going to run this test case. The same way in test subtraction also, I have mentioned the at the rate test annotation. So it is going to run these two test cases. Let us run this code and let us run this test case. So already we have discussed in our previous video how to run the JUnit test case. Just to confirm whether these two test cases are running or not. You can look at my output. Yes, it is running test addition as well as it is running test subtraction. So which means it is executing both test cases. So now we'll see at the rate before and at the rate after annotation. I'm just writing one simple code. With the help of that output, easily we can understand what should be the usage of at the rate before and at the rate after. I'm just defining some method. You can give any method name. I'm saying that it is let it be before method. You can give any method name just to show the usage of these two annotation. I'm defining a method, and inside this method, I'm just making a system.out.println before. And for this before method, I'm using an annotation at the rate before. So like test annotation at the rate before is also a predefined annotation from org.junit package. I'm just importing. You can look at my input. It is from org.junit package. The same thing, I will define one more method. Let me say the method name as after method. As I mentioned in the beginning, you can give any method name. Just I am giving a method name as after method. And here I am displaying a message at after. And for this particular method, I am going to use an annotation called after from same org.junit package. So finally, you can look at my code, friends. I have two test case with at the rate test annotation. One is test addition, another one is displaying test subtraction. And I have made a separate method for at the rate before as well as at the rate after annotation. And I'm displaying some message like before as well as after. Let me run this test case and will observe the output. With the help of this output, easily we can understand what is the usage of these two annotation. You can look at my output. Before is executing before each test cases, before test subtraction, before test addition. This before annotation method is executing. The same way after annotation method is executing after each test cases. So now I hope, friends, we got some idea what is the usage of at the rate before and at the rate after annotation. So now we may get a question in real time, what should be the usage of this at the rate before and at the rate after annotation. From this output itself, we can understood one thing. Before is executing before each test cases. It's nothing but I can write down some pre-logic which I want to execute before each test cases. And after is executing once the test case is completed. So which means I can write down some post logic for each test cases. So like before running the test case, I may want to initialize some variable. So that initialization I will do it with the help of at the rate before annotation for each test cases. So nothing but my pre-logic or before executing my test cases. If I want to initialize some variable, so that I can do it with the help of at the rate before. And at the rate after is going to execute after completion of the test case, each test case. So which means I may reset my variable. So finally, nothing but post logic for each test cases. So this is the real time usage of at the rate before and at the rate after. Generally, we are going for at the rate before to initialize the variable for each test cases and at the rate after to reset that variables so that it will be ready for another test case. So in those kind of scenario, so we will be using at the rate before as well as at the rate after annotation. So the last two annotation is at the rate before class and at the rate after class. Let me define two more method. Let me say some method public static. So we will come to know little later why I am using a keyword static. Let me say the method name is before class and it is displaying a message before class. And for this method, I am using an annotation called at the rate before class. You can see before class is also a predefined annotation from arg.junit package. The same way, I'm going to define one more method as static. Let me say the method name after class. You can give any method name. And for this method, I'm coming with the annotation called after class. Again, it's from same org.junit package. It is from same org.junit package. Right. So let me add a statement here also. So already we are very clear about the usage of at the rate before and at the rate after annotation. Now let us run this code, let us run this test case once again and we'll observe what is the functionality of before class and after class with the help of our output. I'm just running as a test case. You can look at the output. Easily you will understand the difference between at the rate before and at the rate before class. Same way at the rate after and at the rate after class. At the rate before and at the rate after both are executing before and after of each test cases. But you can look at my output at the rate before class and at the rate after class both are executing only once in the beginning of the test case. I mean in the beginning of the entire test case file as well as after the entire test case file. So which means what is happening here, this before class and after class both are executing before the classes is loaded into the memory and after the class is deleted from the memory. I'm repeating the point once again. At the rate before class and at the rate after class both are executing only once in the beginning as well as at the end. Right. So which means at the rate before class is executing before the class is loaded into the memory. Nothing but before the object creation. I hope you are able to guess why I am using a static keyword. And same way this after class is going to execute after the class is deleted from the memory. Nothing but without object after deleting the object. So finally at the rate before class and at the rate after class both are executing before the object creation of the class as well as after deleting the object of the particular test case file. So which means both has to run without object. So that's why the method must be static. So that's the reason I'm using static keyword in case of at the rate before class as well as at the rate after class annotation. Because both annotations are going to execute without object. So already we know that the static method can run without object. So that's the reason I'm making this method as static. So now we may get a doubt in case if I didn't specify this static keyword, what will happen? Let us verify. I'm just removing this static keyword and I'm trying to run this test case. You can look at my test case. It is giving the error called initialization error. So it is not able to initialize. You can look at the error message. It's very clearly saying that the before class method should be a static. It should run without object. So finally, if I am using before class and after class annotation, then the method must be static because it has to run without object creation or without object. So hope friends we are clear about these 5 JUnit basic or important annotations. So likewise many more annotations are there. I'm just covering only the basic or important annotations which we will use very frequently in JUnit. So now we may get a question, what should be the usage of before class and after class annotation in real time? So before and after is initialize and reinitialize the variable for each test cases. But this before class and after class, we can use it as a global for all the test cases. For all the test cases globally, I may want to create one object. If you remember our previous video, for each method, for example, we have done a addition testing and subtraction testing in our previous video. If you look at our previous video, in each method, I have created an object separately for calculator class in our previous video. So which means if I have a 100 test cases, then I will be creating 100 object. You know how much it's memory, right? So to overcome this scenario, what I will do in the before class, I will be creating an object only once as globally, and I can use that object in all my test cases. And at the end, in my after class, I can delete that object in my after class. I mean, after, you know that we know that this after class will execute at the end or after completing all the test cases. So finally in the at the rate before class, I will be creating an object as common, and in at the rate after class, I may delete that object. The same way, in at the rate before class, I may open a database globally, and in at the rate after class, after executing all the test cases with the help of my database, I will be closing the database. The same way, in at the rate before class, I may open a file which is required for all the test cases, and in at the rate after class, I will be closing that file. So this is the usage of at the rate before class and at the rate after class in real time application. So hope friends we are clear about these 5 JUnit annotations. So in our next video, we will be discussing about JUnit test suite. So that is also very simple only, easily we can understand. So friends, we are clear about this JUnit annotation. So thanks friends for watching this video. So if you like this video, please subscribe and click on the bell symbol so that as soon as I upload a new video, you will be getting the notification. Also, you can share it with your friends.